welcome you, the learner, to a deep dive designed to uh, really give you a profound understanding of sex and intimacy.
Yeah, we've got this comprehensive guide, and we're aiming to pull out the really fascinating, useful stuff for you.
Exactly. It's not about just, dry facts.
Right. It's about uncovering the science, the techniques, the positions, orgasms, even how to tackle challenges.
So our mission basically is actionable insights, things that can genuinely enhance, well, your knowledge and experiences.
Those aha moments without getting totally overwhelmed.
Okay, let's dive in. First stop,
The brain.
the control center. What's actually happening up there during sex?
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? The mind-body connection is just so central here.
Yeah.
When things get going, and especially during orgasm, it's like a whole network lights up. You've got the pituitary gland releasing hormones,
Right, the hormones kick in.
the nucleus accumbens and ventral tegmental areas. That's the core reward
The
system.
pleasure zone.
Totally. And
Yeah.
the hypothalamus controlling basic drives. It's a real cascade.
So it's like this pleasure power grid just switches on. And those brain scans, I heard something really striking about them.
Oh, yeah. They show that reward circuit firing, and it looks, well, remarkably like a brain on heroin.
Seriously, like that similar.
Yeah, Dr. Gert Holstage pointed out it's maybe only a 5% difference in the observable reaction. It really underlines the intensity.
Wow, that explains a lot.
And get this. During orgasm, the lateral orbitofrontal cortex, that's the bit right behind your forehead, for decision-making,
Uh-huh.
it just like temporarily powers down.
Ah, so that's why rational thought takes a vacation sometimes. A bit of letting go is actually built in.
Precisely. Quieting that inner critic, that decision maker, seems pretty key for desire, arousal, reaching orgasm.
Makes sense. So the brain's the conductor, but you need the orchestra, right? The nervous system.
Exactly. That's the communication highway, sending all those pleasure signals everywhere.
Okay, so who are the main messengers? Which nerves are doing the heavy lifting?
Well, there are several key players. You've got the pelvic nerve carrying signals from the vagina, cervix, rectum, bladder.
Okay.
Then the vagus nerve is interesting. It goes from the cervix, uterus, vagina, straight to the brain, kind of bypassing the spinal cord.
Really? Direct line.
Yep. And the pudendal nerve handles the clitoris, penis, scrotum, plus the hypogastric nerve, relaying info from the uterus, cervix, prostate.
That is a complex network. It
Yeah.
really shows why pleasure can come from, well, so many different kinds of touch.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of understanding all this, our guide mentions how thinking about sexual response has evolved, right? Those historical models.
Yeah, Masters and Johnson.
Right. They mapped out the physical stages, excitement, plateau, orgasm, resolution. Very observational.
Uh-huh.
But then Helen Singer Kaplan came along and proposed a three-phase model. Desire, excitement, orgasm. Crucially, she added desire.
Ah, highlighting the mental and emotional start.
Exactly. It wasn't just mechanics anymore. Your thoughts, your feelings, the whole psychological context that became recognized as vital. A big shift.
Definitely paints a much richer picture.
Oh.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit to something really foundational. Getting comfortable with your own body.
Oh, this is so crucial. The guide really hammers home the link between body image and sexual pleasure. Feeling good in your skin is fundamental.
If you're busy critiquing yourself, it's hard to just feel right.
Absolutely. You can't fully embrace the pleasure. It's not about chasing some ideal. It's about accepting and appreciating the body you have.
And the guide shares that story.
Mm.
Tara, was it about getting familiar with her nether regions?
Yeah, that's a great example. Her daily self-exam in the mirror, it's about familiarity, breeding comfort. Experts even suggest it.
Just looking, getting acquainted.
Exactly. Because vulvas are unique. Different colors, textures, shapes. Getting to know yours is really empowering. There's no single right way to look.
And it goes beyond the outside bits too, doesn't it? The cervix, pelvic floor muscles.
Right. The cervix, connecting the vagina and uterus, can be a source of pleasure for some through deep touch. And that can even change with your cycle.
Hormones affecting sensitivity.
Mm-hmm. And the pelvic floor muscles, they support your organs, help with bladder control, but they're also key for flexibility and potentially stronger orgasms for everyone.
Okay, now the big one, the G-spot.
Mm-hmm.
What's the latest understanding from our source?
Yes, the G-spot. That sensitive patch on the upper front wall of the vagina, it's generated a lot of talk.
Named after Grafenberg,
That's
right?
the one. But we now understand it's not really a distinct organ. It's more an area rich in nerve endings, tissues, glands.
So like a sensitive zone.
Exactly. Its sensitivity seems linked to stimulating the female prostate, the Skene's glands, plus the urethral sponge, and even the inner parts of the clitoris. It's an interconnected network.
Less a button, more a sensitive junction box. And that story about Kimberly discovering her clitoris later in life.
It really highlights that self-discovery can happen at any age, doesn't it?
Totally. So if someone wants to feel better about their body, what practical steps does the guide suggest?
Okay, several good ones. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people that makes a difference.
Makes sense. Your environment matters.
Definitely. Exercise is huge, not just for physical changes, but those endorphins. They boost your mood. And studies show even short bursts help body image.
Feel-good chemicals.
Right. Plus, finding healthy ways to cope with stress is important. Stress really impacts how we see ourselves.
Yeah.
And maybe surprisingly, masturbation is linked to higher self-esteem. Experiencing pleasure from your own body can build appreciation for it.
That's a great list. Now, a listener question came up about masturbation and relationships. What if a partner feels jealous?
Yeah, that can happen. Dr. Ruthie suggests having a lighthearted chat about it. The goal is understanding, not necessarily fixing a problem right away. Open communication.
Good advice. And this idea of a personal pleasure map. Tell me more about that.
Oh, this is a fantastic tool. For anyone, really, it's about actively exploring your erogenous zones.
Not just where, but how you like to be touched.
Exactly. The guide suggests a color code. Yellow for gentle, blue for firm, green for wetter touches like kisses. Purple for maybe more intense or something you define yourself, and red for off limits. It's like creating your own pleasure instruction manual.
I love that. So
Right.
personalized. And it applies to men too, obviously.
Mhm.
What about those often overlooked male erogenous zones?
Absolutely. Beyond the penis, there's the scrotum, the perineum, that area between the scrotum and anus, the taint or gooch,
Right.
the raph, that little ridge underneath, the treasure trail area on the lower abs can be sensitive, and even nipples for some guys.
A whole landscape to explore beyond the usual suspects. Okay, moving on to igniting that initial spark, desire, seduction.
Well, the first thing to grasp is how cognitive it is. Desire really starts in the mind.
So distractions, work stress, arguments, they can kill the mood.
Totally. They put a real damper on arousal and satisfaction. Getting your head in the game is key.
So what are some ways to actually get in the mood and stay there?
The guide has some interesting ideas, like encouraging fantasy, letting your mind cheat, so to speak. It can broaden horizons, maybe even deepen connection if you share later.
Mental exploration.
Yeah. Talking dirty and maybe doing it outside the bedroom to build anticipation.
Ooh, building the tension.
Right. Playing the bad boy or girl sometimes taps into novelty and risk, which research says can be attractive.
Shaking things up.
Cuddling naked apparently linked to greater happiness for men in studies. Tuning into your body through solo exploration helps sensitivity.
Dealing with those intrusive thoughts.
Just acknowledging them, then gently dismissing them, keeping your focus where you want it.
Good mental strategies. What about the physical side of seduction? Touch.
Erotic touch is so powerful and often gets overlooked, especially in long-term relationships where non-genital touch can decrease.
That's a shame.
It really is. Because it's not just foreplay. It builds connection, boosts relationship satisfaction, and even has health benefits, lowers stress hormones, blood pressure, increases oxytocin.
The love hormone, like a mini spa treatment plus intimacy. What are some examples of techniques?
Okay, there's raindrops, lightly fluttering fingertips, finger stripes, slow lines with oiled fingers, palm circles, gentle circular massage.
It's nice.
Awakening touch uses the backs of the fingernails, kind of tingly, unexpected. And temperature play, alternating warm and cool breath on the skin.
Very sensual. Now, what about kissing? The classic.
Such a fundamental ritual, but also really erotic. Releases feel-good hormones, promotes bonding, though men and women sometimes see it differently. Men might use deep kissing more as a direct route to sex.
While women might see it more as gauging intimacy.
Often, yeah. But regardless, studies show couples who kiss more report less conflict, more satisfaction, lower stress, even better cholesterol.
Wow, a strong case for more making out. Any specific techniques mentioned?
The guide highlights the soft-lipped kiss, super
Yeah.
gentle, feather-light contact, really relaxing and romantic, good for easing into things.
Nice. And moving from subtle touch to words compliments.
Oh, absolutely. Weaving in pleasant, flirtatious, or even more seductive compliments works wonders. Research says they're powerful motivators, almost like cash.
Huh, good to know.
And they boost mood for both giver and receiver. You can vary the intensity, from general pleasantries to hinting at deeper desires.
And in today's world, sexting, any do's and don'ts?
Key ones. First, always ask first. Consent and respect are crucial, plus it builds anticipation.
Good point.
Then leave something to the imagination. Don't reveal everything at once. Be referential, maybe a bit subtle, not always super direct.
Okay.
And maybe surprisingly, go easy on the emoticons. They can sometimes kill the mood.
Interesting. Good tips. Lastly, setting the actual scene, atmosphere.
Definitely important. Simple things, candles, flowers, a specific outfit create a sensual vibe. Don't stop making that effort, even years in.
Keep it special.
Yeah, and inject novelty. The guide playfully suggests the high school sweethearts rule ban sex in the usual spot for a bit. Forces creativity, brings back that thrill.
Huh. I like that. Shakes things up. Okay, let's get into some specifics now. Oral sex and the communication around it.
Right, and communication is just fundamental here. It can feel vulnerable, but it's essential for satisfaction.
People find it easier to do it than talk about it, apparently.
Studies suggest so. That communication gap can really hinder intimacy.
So how do we start talking more openly? Any starter phrases?
Yeah, the guide suggests focusing on the positive. Things like, I really love it when you, or that feels amazing when, or even just reminiscing about a great past experience. Low pressure, focusing on your feelings, not demands.
And expressing specific desires that can feel awkward.
For sure, it's a skill. The guide suggests practicing being assertive in less sensitive situations first. Build up that muscle.
Okay.
Being honest about needs and boundaries empowers both partners. Encourage them to share first sometimes, maybe.
Models openness.
It's an ongoing dialogue, not a one-off big talk. And sensitivity is key when sharing new desires or fantasies. Absolutely paramount. Be mindful of potential insecurities. If they seem hesitant, offer reassurance, try to understand their view, makes it less threatening.
Got it. Now, for something more playful, sexy trash talk, what kinds are there?
Yeah, the guide breaks it down. You've got romantic talk, alluring, teasing, aggressive, demanding, responsive.
Categories.
Descriptive, naughty, instructive, ego-stroking, even fantastical. Each adds a different flavor, heightens arousal in different ways.
A whole vocabulary to play with. Okay, let's get technical. Oral techniques for her.
All right, lots of creative ones. The rocket. Slow, flat tongue lick. Base to clitoris, one direction, then maybe switch. Sweet suction, gentle sucking on the frenulum, firm tongue pressure on the clit, lollipops, using full lips, sliding around the clitoris, stroking the shaft, finger stroking the clitoral shaft while lipstone work the hood. Suck me in. Rolled lips creating suction inside.
Right.
G-spot gusher, finger motion on G-spot, plus deep tongue pressure, maybe even a vibrator between the lips, tongue screw. Pulsing lips, tongue slightly inside, curling against walls.
Wow.
Facelift, using her body weight and vibrations from below for outer clit stimulation. And slipper palm, slow palm descent from neck while tongue swirls the mons pubis.
That is quite a menu, very detailed. What about techniques for him?
Equally creative. Tongue cradle. Broad tongue strokes underneath, lubed palms stroke the shaft upwards. All your love. Interlace lubed fingers. Lips create a long tunnel, based tip strokes. Twist and shout. Gentle hand twist on shaft, sucking the head better than depth throat. Upward sucking, downward lip strokes. Finger pressure on perineum, the real deal. Deep suck on head, tongue twirl on frenulum. Interlaced fingers stroke shaft.
Got it.
Sweet swallow. Tight upward suck, slight release down, maybe hand strokes and perineum pressure. The screw. Bending over using palm stung, then prayer hands with lips for deep stroking. 2 thumbs up. Tongue sweeps testicles, one hand stroke shaft, alternating rhythmically. Wetter, tighter, better. Rhythmic hand strokes, varying pressure.
And the last one?
The temple. Woman on top, controlling pace depth, maybe adding manual stimulation for herself or his perineum.
Again, a really impressive array. Now, common questions. How do you teach a partner what you like during oral?
Positive reinforcement is key, according to Dr. Ruthie. When they do something great, vocalize it. Praise that specific action.
So they know what works.
Exactly. They're more likely to repeat it. Describing how it feels is also super helpful guidance.
Makes sense. Focus on the positive. And what about pre-cum? People wonder about that.
Right. Pre-ejaculate. It's that alkaline fluid from the Cowper's glands during arousal. Helps neutralize acidity in the urethra for sperm.
Does it contain sperm itself?
Not typically, no. But, and this is important, it can sometimes pick up leftover sperm from a previous ejaculation. So it's not foolproof birth control.
Good clarification. Okay, let's shift from mouths to full body engagement. Intercourse positions.
Yeah, and the guide helpfully groups them. First, controlled penetration, like the T-bone woman on her side, man enters from behind. Deep but gentle.
Minimal movement.
Right. And tempo is a variation allowing deeper penetration, maybe easier clitoral access, good for slow, sensual times.
What about positions focused on deeper connection?
Okay, deeper love.
Oh,
But buddies face-to-face spooning, very intimate. Rock away, woman on back, legs wrapped around his waist, rocking motion.
classic.
Classic missionary, obviously, with tweaks for depth, upright missionary legs high around his torso, maximum closeness, and reverse cowgirl for depth and her control.
Those sound really intimate. What about even more closeness, maybe more eye contact focus?
For intimate positions, you have flamingo, comfy side lying, facing each other, marry me kneeling face to face, lovers and arms seated embrace,
Mm-hmm.
and rock and roll designed for minimal movement, maximum sustained connection, great for kissing, whispering, really emphasizes eye contact.
And the guide mentioned that cooperative eye hypothesis.
Yeah, the idea that the whites of our eyes, sclera, are so visible to help us follow each other's gaze, facilitating cooperation.
So eye contact feels significant for a reason.
Potentially. While intense staring can be, well, intense, varying your gaze can deepen that connection during intimacy.
Interesting link. Now for the adventurous listeners, or acrobatic positions.
Okay, for the physically daring, pull-up needs a bar, allows deep penetration with legs wrapped, mile-high club woman kneeling, forearms on bed, man enters from behind, steep angle,
Requires balance.
and topsy-turvy, a standing position needing good balance and strength from both. Definitely more athletic.
No kidding. What about positions specifically for clitoral stimulation?
Good focus. CS cat, the coital alignment technique, emphasizing pelvic grinding. Scissoring, side-lying legs entwined closely.
All right.
And swinger woman on top, facing away, often allows easier manual clit access for her or him.
And it's great the guide considers physical limitations too. Injury-friendly, pregnancy-friendly.
Definitely. For injury-friendly, happy spoons classic spooning, maybe with pillows for support. Reverse eagle modified missionary, less strain.
Sensible options.
For pregnancy-friendly, frisky businesswoman standing, facing a wall, comfy entry from behind, legs up woman on back, legs elevated on pillows, and queen bee, comfy side-lying variant.
Really valuable to have those adaptable options and safe sex during pregnancy.
Yes, Dr. Shepard says generally safe throughout, assuming no complications like cervical issues or preterm labor risk.
And positions.
As the belly grows, side-lying or woman on top often become more comfortable.
Reassuring advice. Okay, let's talk about the peak orgasms.
Right, and the female orgasm, as the guide shows through personal stories, is incredibly diverse. It's so important not to categorize rigidly.
No orgasm bucket list.
Exactly, no pleasure hierarchy. It's about appreciating individual experiences, not hitting predetermined targets.
And the clitoris is obviously central.
Absolutely, and it's way more than just the visible bit. It has internal structures too. While direct gland stimulation works for many, some prefer indirect.
Like pulling on the mons pubis.
Yeah, creating friction on the hood, especially at peak arousal when direct touch might be too much.
And orgasm is possible even with spinal cord injuries. That's amazing.
It truly is. Dr. Whipple and Dr. Komisaruk's research showed over half of women with SCIs could still orgasm, sometimes through other body parts, shows the nervous system's adaptability.
Incredible. What about techniques for vaginal orgasms?
Varying thrust depth and speed helps. Also, consciously doing Kegels, contracting pelvic floor muscles during intercourse can intensify things.
Uh-huh.
Some also find temperature play with toys heightens vaginal sensitivity.
And G-spot orgasms, how do they feel different?
Often described as a deeper, bearing down sensation, linked to stimulating Skene's glands, the female prostate.
Which can feel like needing to pee.
Sometimes, yeah. But the guide stresses any fluid released is generally harmless.
Okay. And female ejaculation, what's the key takeaway?
That it's not a sign of femininity or superior responsiveness. The fluid is usually small amount, similar to male prostatic fluid. Varies person to person.
Important to bust those myths. Now, the power of the mind, again, orgasm from fantasy alone.
Remarkably, yes. Dr. Komisaruk's MRI studies showed some women can achieve it just through fantasy and focused breathing.
Wow. Mind over matter.
It really shows the mind-body link and emphasizes that fantasies, even taboo ones like rape fantasies, are normal and don't reflect real-life desires.
Very important distinction. And Kegels help with orgasmic control generally.
Yes, strengthening those pelvic floor muscles can boost sensation and control for many.
Okay, shifting to the male orgasm, what's happening physically?
It involves rhythmic pelvic muscle contractions linked to ejaculation. Two sets, basically. One moves semen towards the urethra, the second, stronger set, expels it.
And prostate orgasms, a source of intense pleasure for many men.
Absolutely. Stimulating the prostate internally via the rectum or externally on the perineum can create a widespread, intense pleasure.
Using fingers or toys.
Yep, like the Aneros toy. Some men can even ejaculate just from prostate play, no penile stimulation needed. The guide also mentions the B spot, just below the prostate, as another potential zone.
And internal landscape for men, too. What about dream orgasms, nocturnal emissions?
More common in men. Theories link them to dopamine surges and lower prefrontal control during REM sleep. But research suggests they aren't actually super common for most.
Interesting. And dry orgasms. Orgasm without ejaculation.
Can happen due to retrograde ejaculation, semen goes into bladder. But some men learn to have them intentionally, reporting more intensity, maybe multiple orgasms.
Wow.
Techniques like Kegels and edging might contribute.
And finally, shared orgasms. That simultaneous peak.
Can really deepen connection, create feelings of ecstasy, intimacy. But it's more about being present and connected than a specific goal to chase.
Right, not performance pressure. And faking orgasms.
Very common, often done to please a partner. But long-term, it hurts communication and genuine pleasure for everyone, reinforces things that might not actually work best.
Honesty is key. Again. Okay, let's venture into anal play.
And first point, it doesn't have to mean penetration. Licking, sucking, massaging the external area can be incredibly pleasurable. Lots of nerve endings there.
Good starting point. What are the internal anatomy?
You have the external sphincter, then the anal canal, just a few inches, but very sensitive, can expand gently. Further in is the rectum, wider, less sensitive to light touch, more to pressure.
For those curious, where should they start?
The guide actually suggests DIY first. Solo exploration reduces pressure, lets you get familiar with sensations privately. Just gentle touching to see what feels good.
Makes sense. Anything to avoid?
Definitely avoid numbing creams. They mask sensation. You might not feel discomfort or tears until later. Much better. Lots of foreplay, tons of good lube, and relaxation.
Gradual progress, lube, relaxation. Got it.
Absolutely. Go slow with speed, depth, size of anything inserted. Anal trainer kits with increasing sizes can help too.
Okay. Specific techniques for finger or tongue play around the anus.
Lots. Reverse reach. Tongue swirls outside while stroking vulva. Sit on my face. Partner kneels over face. Guides tongue. Lip smacker. Gentle lip pulsing. Eat your heart out. More enthusiastic licking. Dear Daisy. Gentle back and forth tongue motion. Lot of hot air. Blowing warm air. Breathe it in. Intense sucking.
Keep going.
Butt plug bonus. External licking while wearing a plug. And butt screw. Circular tongue motions plus gradual finger insertion.
A wide range. What about intercourse positions suited for anal?
Not. So sweet spoons. Modified doggy style allows depth, maybe other stimulation. Rear view lap dance receptive partner straddles facing away. Reverse cowgirl gives receptive partner control.
And common challenges or hiccups?
Difficulty penetrating is common. Slow, deep breaths, relaxing foreplay helps tension, tightens muscles.
And the feeling of needing the bathroom.
Also common, especially at first. Similar nerves get stimulated, often just a sensation. Emptying bowels beforehand can ease that worry.
Practical and reassuring. Okay, let's talk props and toys, adding another dimension.
And you can start simple. Scarves as blindfolds, fly swatters for spanking, but lubricant, a real game changer.
We keep coming back to lube.
Because research shows it boosts arousal, pleasure, satisfaction for both partners. And remember, natural lubrication doesn't always equal arousal level.
True. What about couple-specific toys?
Things like the We Vibe, that C-shaped vibrator stimulating clit, G-spot, and penis during intercourse. Great for shared sensation.
And vibrators in general are incredibly varied.
Hugely. So many shapes, sizes, functions, linked to higher orgasm rates for everyone. Women often use them on the clit. Men incorporate them in partnered sex, even prostate play.
Creative uses mentioned.
Yeah, like a bullet vibe surprise in public, or holding one against your cheek during oral sex for extra sensation.
Inventive. Choosing the right one. Listener question.
Sex coach Carlisle Jansen suggests versatility for a first toy, good for internal, external use, multiple speeds, body-safe silicone.
Nice checklist. Cock rings.
Worn at the base of the penis, trap blood for harder erection, maybe more intense orgasm. Various types O-rings, stretchy, adjustable. Use safely, don't wear too long, remove if swelling.
Safety first. Restraints. For power dynamics.
Handcuffs, scarves, ties. Can heighten desire, create new dynamics. Start with household items, maybe leave them out suggestively.
Dildos and strap-ons.
Versatile for solo or partnered play. Strap-ons allow penetration, like pegging woman penetrates man anally. Can be really transformative, build empathy.
But plugs and anal beads.
Plugs usually have flared base for safety, various sizes, some vibrate. Beads offer different sensation with insertion movement.
A whole world of tools. Okay, shifting now to challenges in maintaining passion long-term. Desire decline.
It's natural in long-term relationships. Exercise helps boost libido, raises testosterone, feelings of sexiness.
And the chemistry changes, right?
Yeah, Dr. Amate explains that initial intense passion often evolves into deeper companionate intimacy. Still valuable connection.
In order to normalize that, what about desire differences between partners?
Need to ditch gender stereotypes. Desire is individual, complex. Acknowledge and accept each partner's unique experience. That's key.
Loss of erection can cause anxiety.
First, see a doctor to rule out medical issues. But even without a full erection, focus on other forms of play, connection, mutual stimulation.
And support from the partner is crucial.
Hugely. Reassurance that it's not their fault, focusing on shared intimacy in other ways.
And not reaching orgasm, frustrating.
Focus on knowing your body better. Clitoris, vulva for women. Experiment with toys, lube, they often help significantly for everyone.
Pain during sex.
See a doctor first. Dyspareunia, vaginismus need checking. If it's psychological, counseling, relaxation, desensitization can help.
Okay, let's focus on maintaining passion. Takes effort, right?
Absolutely. Accept the ups and downs, then actively work at it. Cultivate sexual self-esteem, positive self-talk. Focus beyond just looks.
And deepening connection outside the bedroom.
Super important. Interview your lover about needs, desires. Practice assertive communication, body positivity, non-sexual touch, deep conversations. Offer support, physical, emotional, etc.
Even holding hands helps stress.
Yep, studies show it.
Fantasies' role in keeping things fresh.
Fantasies are common, diverse. Fantasizing about others is normal. Sharing can intensify connection. Use discretion. Great for arousal, self-knowledge.
What if a partner is shy about sharing fantasies?
Dr. Ruthie suggests using erotica as a playful prompt. Reassure them even common ones like threesomes are usually harmless exploration.
And finally, role play. Antidote to monotony.
Fantastic way to step outside yourselves, explore different desires, maybe even opposites of your real personality. Fun escape.
Need to discuss boundaries first.
Crucial. Ease into it, low lights, costumes maybe. Base scenarios on fantasies, respecting boundaries can be really exciting.
It really sounds like a vibrant sex life is an ongoing journey. Discovery, communication, connection, trying new things.
Exactly that. Stay curious, open-minded, and keep talking to yourself and your partner.
Will you, the learner? We really hope this deep dive into, well, the whole world of sexual pleasure has given you some valuable insights, maybe spark some curiosity.
Remember, it's a personal journey, always evolving. Revisit these ideas. Keep exploring what feels good to you.
And it's totally normal for your reactions, your desires to change over time. Embrace that.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to ponder. How might understanding the deeper biology, the psychology of sex, actually shift your own approach to intimacy and pleasure?
Both for yourself and with a partner. What new paths for exploration might this knowledge open up for you?